Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Hope all is fantastic with you. Hope you are doing well. Hope this message finds you feeling your absolute best in every sense of the word. And with that being said, I had to change something else. With that being said, I'm excited to be here with you today. I'm excited to really dive into once again the opportunity to convey wisdom, convey insight that is so important. This is unconventional in every sense of the word, right? Everything is unconventional from the standpoint of being an actor, but it's good because it helps you instead of trying to go through the crowd, it helps you take a step back, look and see what's happening with the crowd, and then go around the crowd to get to where you need to go. And so what's neat about that is you begin to learn different things. You begin to be more creative, and so I think that's what the vibrational actor really comes down to is the understanding that, creativity is everything, really tapping into your true authentic essence, which brings out the natural performer in you is what matters the most. Right. And so when we can do that, what we discover is we are amped with the ability to succeed in any situation possible. And as always, I always like to say, you have to define your own success, right? You have to figure out what your definition of success is. And so once you get that, it becomes an opportunity to make everything so much clearer, and then you can move forward and enjoy this journey that you have as an actor, actress, or performer, which is actually both. But either way, you get what I'm saying. So with that being said, yes, starting off, guys, if you have any type of correspondence, any type of feedback, anything you want to share, you have any questions, we've got listeners or viewers out in Germany, which is really awesome. So thank you for tuning in. And then there's a couple other countries that are tuning in as well that super excited and happy about that. We're not only getting actors in the US, but we're also getting actors and actresses all over the world. And that's what counts, right? And it's being able to help those people to rise up and be their very best as they go about their journeys as entertainers. Okay. So I'm excited about that. But if you have any questions, any feedback, write to me, write to us, SeanG04@gmail.com. And I will get to that as soon as we can. And let's get into it. Now, I know the World Series is on, so I'm going to make this as quick and concise as possible, but yet informative. All right. So today's message, the vibrational actor. Mentally accept the success you deserve as an actor. Okay. So what do I mean by mentally accepting? So if you tuned into any of the Heart of Christ messages that I did, and more than likely you did, if you're watching this, there was a couple episodes where I stressed the importance of mental equivalent, how everything in life has a mental equivalent that is brewing and dwelling within the mind, within the mental aspect of every human being. So if you see somebody as a success as an actor, guess what? Mentally, they've already accepted, right, that within themselves. And that is what's being projected into the reality of the person that is a success, right? So it's a pretty simplified concept, yet it's not always easy because the mind has to be strong. And this is why we do certain techniques and exercises, much like meditation and other things, to really raise the vibration, to get the mind on a high level to where it can create the mind concepts, right, that contribute to success. Because here's the thing, if you can get success in your consciousness, which is in your awareness, your thinking, your feeling, and your acting, you can get success on the outside, right? Plain and simple. There's nothing to it. Get it in here first and get it with conviction and feeling, and then you can have it on the outside. So if you hadn't picked up those books, get those books because they talk about it, right? They talk about it. Links in the description. So, but ultimately, before I do anything, right? Before I embark upon anything, my thing is I have to have already participated, accomplished, succeeded in here first, right? And why do I need to do that? Well, I learned a long time ago, right? As an athlete, when I wouldn't visualize and meditate and see myself succeeding, wearing what I was going to wear, the whole thing being there in my mind first, whenever I didn't do that, it would just feel absolutely foreign. I would find myself in a position nervous, not really prepared, not really open and receptive to the creativity and the ease and flow that wants to come through. And it would just be difficult. But then I started to, even like days and sometimes weeks before, would see myself, envision myself doing something and doing it successfully. And you know what would happen? I would get to doing the actual thing and it would feel easy. It would feel I was receptive to everything. And it was one of those things that, like, the feeling of, I've been here before. This is not anything new. This is not something that I have to be caught off guard about. No, I've been here before and I'm happy and excited that I've been here. And it's just kind of coming to me. It's flowing to me. And that's what happens when you mentally accept that success that you deserve. You got to get it in here. You got to know, you got to trust, you got to understand, you got to believe, and you got to be in a place where you don't accept anything else. So let's get into this. I actually just gave you all of them right then and there, but we're going to go into them a little bit more in depth. And then, we'll tie it up from there. So first bullet point, back into the bullet points we got here. Declare your success as an actor today, right? You can say, I am a success. I am a success, right? And if your mind starts to question you, well, why are you a success? Well, because I've been at this acting thing for a long time. I've been auditioning for a long time. I've done professional jobs. I've been paid to act before. Find reasons as to why you are a success. And then once you get it, convince yourself. Right? Because once you convince yourself, you've convinced the universe to give you whatever it is that you desire, right? And in this case, success. But remember, define what success means to you, because, I had instances where I'm like, I want to be a successful actor. I want to be a successful actor. I want to be a successful actor. And then you book one job and it pays you. And then you're like, well, I want to be a success. It's like, but you didn't define what kind of success you wanted. Does your success mean booking 20 jobs within a year? Does your success mean booking a TV show? Does your success mean booking a Broadway, project or whatever it is? Define it, right? Get really clear, as much clarity as possible on what success as an actor, actress means to you, right? And so when you do that, you open a pathway to move that makes everything else so much clearer. And that's what we want, right? That's what we want, to be able to put ourselves in a place where our success becomes clear. Because when it becomes clear, what happens? When we know what it is that we desire, what it is that we truly want, and we begin to put that into our minds, we get that mental concept first, right? What happens? The stuff you don't want, it's easier to cast to the side. It's easier to move away from, right? If I say success for me is booking a television show, and all of a sudden these movies come, yet they don't feel authentic. They don't feel like they're a match to me vibrationally. They don't feel like, okay, although I wanted a TV show, this is where I need to be. I can move away from it, right? That's the beauty of knowing what it is, declaring your success as an actor and what it is you want, is because you easily move away from that which you don't want, okay? So declare it, speak it over your life, right? Go to bed at night saying, I am a success. I am a successful actor. I have all the success that I can imagine. Like, really get specific. Journal on it every day. So I've been doing this channeling thing where I've been getting wisdom and insight from spirit as far as me being an actor. And it's the most amazing thing, because I'm going deeper into the depths of my spirit and coming out with so much wonderful stuff to show me what directions to move in with my career. And it's absolutely phenomenal. And you got to do the same. Free writing, journaling, it all helps to open you up and open up what direction you need to go in, guys. I'm telling you, got to do it. Got to do it. That declares your success as well. But understand, get clear on what it is success is for you and declare the hell out of it. Right? Just be relentless. Be relentless. And you don't have to do it all day long, but when you do it, put the feeling behind it, put the conviction behind it, and then let it be. And I promise you, it's going to start showing up because the universe surrenders to whatever it is that you truly desire for yourself. Okay. Number 2 kind of piggybacks on top of number 1. Tell yourself with confidence what you know is true for you as an actor. Okay. And how do we get to a place to where we know what's true for us? Easy. Conviction. Right? You got to convince yourself. So how can I convince myself? I'll give you a couple examples here. I've been acting for 13 years. If I need to convince myself of what type of actor I need, I'll just go look at my reel. I'll go look at the articles I've written. I'll go look at the podcasts that I've done. I'll go look at, the footage that I've had and the opportunities of the things that I've done, especially the most challenging things that I've done. And I'll go and look at that and just observe it and just take it all in. And I just begin to say, okay, I did this and I'm not even at the place that I am right now. And I did this, which means I can be better than this, which means that I am a success, right? And that you can see I'm getting amped up. My energy amps up because I'm getting confidence, right? I'm getting confidence in knowing that I can do this. I'm getting confidence in knowing that I was created to do this. And so you build on that, right? And so how if you grew up in the church like me, we used to have what we call praise sessions, right? Where we would basically just get into it and just start praising and start thanking and start, just being in immense gratitude for what you got to do this as an actor, right? You've got to get into what we call a praise session in a sense of being grateful, being excited, being confident about what is coming to the forefront for you and what is coming into reality for you. And when you do that, and I'm telling you, all you got to do is a few minutes a day, right? Just go into your car, right? I like to go into my car and just start yelling my ass off and screaming and getting excited. And just like I'm like getting ready for a football game, I just go and I start praising and thanking and like saying, yes, 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 just really getting into it. And what that does is that surrounds me, my aura, everything that encompasses me with an energy of affirmation that says, okay, this is happening. This is unfolding for me and I'm excited about it. And it's going to be epic, right? It's going to be epic. And I love that something like this is available because it puts our own success into our own hands, right? It puts our own success into our own hands. And the beauty of that is, coffee. You don't have to rely on anybody else, right? You don't have to rely on anybody else. And the beauty of not having to rely on anybody else is like, okay, full responsibility. It's on me. It's either do or die, go big or go home. If it's on me, what am I going to do? Right? What am I going to do? What am I going to bring to the table? How am I going to talk myself up? How am I going to build my confidence? How am I going to step into the room and own the energy as we talk about and become a powerhouse in auditioning? Right? All those things. It's up to us, right? Has nothing to do with anybody outside. But once we come to a place where we are confident in what we know to be true and what we know to be true in here, the people on the outside, they're just actors in your film, right? You are the writer, the director, and the producer. You're acting in it too as well, but you're calling the shots. Everybody else is an actor, right? So remember, build that confidence. Do whatever it takes. Praise sessions, right? Gratitude, immense gratitude, explode, scream, yell, get that energy going, raise that vibration, and that will start to formulate the things you want as a performer. All right. Number 3. Oh, nope. I don't want to edit it. Accidentally hit that. There we go. Settle for nothing less than the success you want. If it seems like it will appear differently, reject it. And so this is so important, right? And if you know me, I'm all about acceptance. And I preach acceptance all the time because acceptance allows us to stay in flow. But in this case, sometimes, especially in important times, it's up to us not to settle, right? It's up to us not to settle. And what happens when we settle? Well, I can just be completely honest. You feel like shit, right? Internally, you feel like shit because you're wondering. You're like, okay, this could be so much better than what it is, but I'm just kind of accepting it for what it is when I really shouldn't be. And so one or two things happens. It brews and you become upset and you become like or you say, you know what? To hell with this. I'm going higher. I'm not going to settle anymore. I'm not going to just take anything and say, well, this is what I got to take and this is what I got to have. No chance, no how, never. Don't do that, right? Reject anything that does not look like what makes you feel like the success that you are. Right? Because if we begin to settle, guess what? It means that we're not putting enough energy into it if the universe is not conspiring to shape itself to what we believe is for us. Right? That means that we got to have more conviction behind it. It means we have to have more truth, more faith behind what it is that we're wanting. Right? And it's about creating that mental equivalent. You've got to be so relentless when it comes to your mind. And I'm not telling you, what I recommend is don't just go around rejecting any kind of thoughts, right? Or rejecting all thoughts. Sometimes adverse thoughts come in and they're there to teach us. They're there to help us. But if you begin to see that it starts to make a habit, that these thoughts continue to come in, that's when you got to say, hold on, stop, right? Okay, I accept you for what you are. You're just a thought, but it's time for you to go. And I let you go lovingly. And you release that thought and you begin to focus your mind, right, on things that are powerful, that are inspiring, that have a healthy self-talk for you, right? So you know what I do whenever I'm working? I always have my books near. I always have, I can't peel it off the computer, but there's priming objects that remind me of what I expect of myself. So if I ever fall short, subconsciously, I can see that priming object. We talk about this in Powerhouse Auditioning as well, but it's that priming object that reminds me of what it is or where it is that I need to be and how I'm not going to settle for anything. And I always know if I'm settling for anything because I can feel it. And if it feels off, then guess what? It's not for me. I got to step it up. I got to be in a different place. I got to say, you know what? We got to take it higher. We got to be better with this, right? And so when you make that commitment to yourself, guess what happens? Everything that's not of that nature falls away. Falls by the wayside, falls away from anything that you would have anything that you would have in your existence that doesn't coincide or doesn't vibrate at that energy of success, right? This is why you got to reject and you got to do it fast. If you're surrounded by people that aren't really allowing you to feel your best, cast them aside. It doesn't have to be personal, but this is your career we're talking about, right? This is your success we're talking about. Cast it to the side, right? Don't ever feel like you've got to just let somebody hang around just to be hanging around and you're carrying them from a vibrational standpoint. We find ourselves doing that where we're lifting other people up. And then in the process of lifting other people up, we're kind of pulling ourselves down, right? We don't want that to happen. We want to make sure that we're bouncing vibrations off somebody who's just as high as we are. Right. So I want to tell you something. This is how vibration works. So let's say you and I are hanging out. Let's say you're 100 and I'm 60, because it's always on a scale from 0 to 10 or 0 to 100 where people are vibrating at. OK, And that's just kind of an example. Actually, it's higher than that. But anyway, so let's just say you're 60. I'm 60, sorry, and you're 100. And guess what happens? When you're by yourself, you're on 100, you're manifesting, you're feeling good, you've got great thoughts. But then you get with me and you find certain things kind of pop in, right? Pop in your head, and as far as thoughts, like maybe doubts or fears come in, right? Because at 60, I am somewhat positive, but there's still a big part of me that's negative, right? There's still a big part of me that's on the lower echelon of vibration, the vibrational scale. So you got to understand it's a law of averages. So what is that? 60 and 100 equals what? Right? Equals 160 divided by 2, you get 80. Now, 80 is actually pretty good considering most people are lower. But let's just imagine that I'm like 20 and you're 100. Then you take 120 divided by 2, that's 60. And so all of a sudden you begin to feel your essence change. This is the power of vibration and why it's so important, why you can never settle, right? Because the moment you get around something or someone and you feel that vibration begin to lower, run like hell. Run like hell, because it's not worth you having to stammer and clamor and climb and grasp and try to go higher by exerting more energy, because energy is not meant to be exerted like that. It's meant to be exerted freely and in the flow of things. And you got to have people that match, right, the energy that you have, or even higher. Right. But we'd never want to put ourselves in a place where we're settling for less. And it's probably the most important thing you do from an energy standpoint. Right. And I recommend doing this when you're going to like acting studios and classes, when you're training at certain places for auditions. Like, in all honesty, you walk in for an audition and the energy feels whack, and it feels like it's bringing you down. Guess what? What do you think? In most cases, if your energy is not good and you go into an audition, chances are it's not going to be as good. But more importantly, it could be good, but the energy is not going to resonate on a high level because of what you feel. So you got to pay attention to these things, right? And it's like never being afraid to reject what feels off to you, because when we do that, what do we tell the universe? We tell the universe that we have a high level of self-respect and we're not going to settle for anything less than what we expect. And guess what? That's exactly what you get, right? It's exactly what you get. And you never settle. You never settle when it comes to your energy, when it comes to your vibration, when it comes to environment, when it comes to anything as it relates to anything affecting your career and your life. You never, ever settle, right? And so with that being said, I want to wrap up the whole idea of the mental equivalent, just mentally accepting the success that you have, right? A lot of times we wonder, okay, it just seems so hard. It seems like I don't know if this is ever going to work out. I don't know what step I need to take first. All you have to do is understand whatever it is you're seeking on the outside of you is already in here as potential energy, right? It's already there. It's already there as an opportunity for you to embrace the feeling of it first and then allow the physical steps to come up. Whenever we get stuck, it means that we're focusing too much on the outside and not focusing enough on what's within us. And so once we go back within, we realize, okay, we're no longer stuck, right? We have everything we need and it's on the inside. And before you know it, you tap into that energy long enough, you get the first step, right? You take that first step, then you get the next step and then the next step. And then you can never be stuck, because you understand life works how? Life works from within to the without, not to the without to the within. It's from the within to the without, right? And you just build on that, right? So you understand, okay, if I want to do a Marvel movie by this time next year or in 3 or 4 months or however long it is, what do I have to do? I've got to go within and feel the essence of that. And once I feel the essence and feel it long enough, the steps will transpire, will be revealed to me as to what I can take to get into that Marvel film, right? And that's just an example, but you can do anything when you learn how to create the mental equivalent of it within your mind and feel it within your heart anything is possible for you unless it's a detriment to your well-being. That's the only way it won't happen for you guys. Right. But if you bring it in here and you connect with it and you really feel into that, it can be a possibility. It can be a probability. Right. Always get the mental equivalent to everything that you want. Because remember, last but not least, whatever happens in reality has to happen in consciousness first. And consciousness is our awareness, our thinking, our feeling, our being, our acting. Whatever happens in reality has to happen in consciousness first. Understand that, and you will succeed in the easiest, simplest way possible. Guys, with that being said, that wraps up today's message. In the event you'd like to give us some feedback, or if you need any help with anything, any questions, feel free to write SeanG04@gmail.com. Be happy to respond to that and catch up to you as soon as I possibly can. Other than that, guys, today was awesomeness in every sense of the word. And we greatly appreciate you joining in for today, another great message. And yeah, I will see you soon. Thanks so much. Take care.